What's up, Falcon fans? This is the recap video where we discuss what happened to the Atlanta Falcons versus the Green Bay Packers. If you guys like this type of content, hit that like button. If you guys hate this type of content, hit that dislike button. It won't hurt your boy's feelings, well, maybe just a little bit. But also, if you want to do a huge favor for your boy, by hitting that subscribe button, it will help out the empire grow tremendously. So on that note, let's talk about the good, the bad, and the Falcons. Let's start out with the good. A win is a win, regardless if it was ugly or fantastic, low scoring or high scoring. You know, it doesn't really matter to my eyes because at the end of the day, it feels good to get this dub. Hopefully we can continue on with that trend, but I just want to quickly state that out. I'm very impressed with this defense. I kind of cried a little bit after the game, just realizing what this defense has so much potential. Now, obviously, we gave Jordan Love 3 touchdowns, two rookies in Wicks and Reed. Obviously, that's not what you want to see, but at the end of the day, you know, they got playmakers, but so do we, and we stopped them in the fourth quarter, and that really matters at the end of the day. It does not matter how you start the game, it's how you finish the game in my eyes, and I think a lot of people will agree with me on that. So, yes, you know what, those are some incredible play calls that, you know, Matt LaFleur did, and, you know, give him all the credit that he deserved, because remember, they were out with Christian Watson and Aaron Jones, their top 2 best, you know, weapons for the Green Bay Packers. But you know what, I'm very impressed with, you know, Agent Terrell and the boys did when they had to shut down Romeo Doubs, who was only targeted 3 times, caught 2 receptions for 30 yards. And then, you know, the other, you know, the tight end, Musgrave, I think that's how you say my boy's name. And then everybody else, because, you know, Jordan Love had over 25 attempts, but only got 14 completions. And for 151 yards, that's incredible, with 1 sack included, but he got pressured a lot, and I thought this defense really stepped up their game. Defensive coordinator definitely did his thing, and you can't ask for more than the defense what they stepped up, you know, get a sack, get, pass deflections, get quarterback hits, get pressures, trick, the offensive side of the ball and, dominating what you want to do, not dictate how they're going to do. And for that, I'm just so impressed, and I just can't say any more great things about this Falcons defense because it's been such a long time for all of us to see what this defense can do when they're, backs are pushed against the wall and they're not blowing 4-quarter leads. Sorry about that. I just got carried away for a second. But let's talk about the offense side of the ball because I thought Desmond Ridder did a really good job despite what people are still saying on Twitter or whatever you call it. And there's some social media platforms that people are still thinking Desmond Ridder is garbage and he's not the answer to our Falcons franchise. And I just have to say, guys, it's such a ridiculous statement that people are still giving Desmond Ridder the benefit of the doubt. Yes, he only had one, like 30% of last year of game, of stepping in on the field. He hasn't had a full season to really show us what he can do or what he can bring to the table. And for people just already just saying, he got lucky, yes, he could have got 3, interceptions, but he didn't. I mean, it's just like, come on, he just has to get into the groove. It's just week 2. It's not like week 17 or something like that. So just give him time to develop, and I think he's going to be great for us. But besides saying all that crazy nonsense palaver, he did a fantastic job in the pocket when he was getting pressured sometimes. I thought he was very comfortable in his throws. Now, yes, there were a couple plays I do admit that, he kind of jumped the gun. But hey, he's a young quarterback in this league, and who's not going to do that kind of crazy palaver, right? But here are a couple plays I just want to showcase to you guys that really show that what Desmond Ridder can definitely bring to the Atlanta Falcons in the future when he gets even more comfortable, when he gets more established in the playbook. So plays like these. So we have a basic cross route where Jonnu Smith is going to go over the top because this is just a fantastic throw by Desmond Ridder where he's getting pressured right at the point of attack, but he does not lose focus at all. And so when you go back and they go, do the recap video, he's not scared at all. He doesn't hesitate. He sees where Jonnu Smith is going, and he just throws a perfect dime, in crazy coverage and still come on top. That's the type of plays that I think Desmond Ridder really showcased his value for the Atlanta Falcons and why Arthur Smith Smith really trusts him to become the leader for the Atlanta Falcons quarterback instead of, our backup quarterback and Tyler Heineke. For the second example I'm going to show you guys, this is a 3rd and 15 long play that Desmond Ridder is going to throw a nice pass to Drake London for a first down, and Drake London does a really great, nice dig route concept here, where he doesn't get pressed automatically. Now, obviously, the Green Bay Packers coverage scheme probably doesn't work as well as they thought it would be because they didn't want to give up the big plays, but too bad it didn't work because Drake London found the wide open soft zone coverage and making sure he got twisted correctly where he can see Desmond Ridder throwing the ball, clutch it, and making sure he brought it down to make sure it doesn't become incomplete or maybe a turnover if one of the defenders just started to hit him out. So this is a great read by Desmond Ridder, and it just shows you that Desmond Ridder is capable of moving the chain even though it may be a 10-yard, 15, 20 plus, or etc. long down. So we can't forget about the offensive line and the run game. Bijan Robinson did a fantastic job getting his first 100 yards of rushing and over 172 plus total yards, scrimmage. Excellent job. We know what he can do. He's a beast. He's a freak. He's an alien. He's not from this planet. And him cutting on a dime is spectacular to watch. So there's really no need to go into further detail. But I will want to say this before we go into the bad. I thought, the play calling when it came to the 4th down conversions, 4 times we went for it, 3 times we got it out. And you know what? I have to give, Arthur Smith the balls and just going for it when it came to, to try to move the chain, to try to, get, aggressive. And I can appreciate that. A lot of times I did criticize him for not going for it, especially against the Saints in week 1 last season where he didn't seem like he wanted to win the game. And that was my biggest criticism last year for him, that he just felt like he was scared to go home, go big or go home. But I'm thankful he decided, you know what, screw it, we're going to try to win this game, and it showed right here. So now let's talk about the bad. There's a couple minor things we can talk about, special teams, Koo kind of missing that first kick, the penalties, it's kind of hard sometimes to get the first downs, but I think the most problem was the play calling for Arthur Smith in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd quarter. Now, 4th quarter, he turned it up, and for that, I'm grateful for, but let's just kind of understand why it was a little bit difficult for Arthur Smith to get it rolling with his play callings. And I'm not going to try to be too critical on this because at the end of the day, he did figure out a way to win. But we also have to understand ourselves that we have to realize, okay, so what is the problem and how we can fix it and make sure that it doesn't plague us in other games. So this is what I don't understand. You're at the 1-yard line. Why you're not going to play smash mouth football and run the ball inside or outside? Because you have Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, who are both capable running backs to bulldoze anybody. Now, I understand that you're going against, a front 7, already stacked up. But that's where you got to come up with creative run plays to make sure you punch it in. And for some reason, you just didn't do that. And you decided to throw the ball first, then do the run, and then throw it again. And I just don't understand. You're a run-heavy, team. You believe in the run game. And for you not to do that automatically to set up points, it's just mind-boggling. And I'm not the only Falcon fans that definitely agree with me on that, because a lot of people were saying a lot of stuff on Twitter. But now let's talk about the other play calling. This was a really head-scratching 4th down attempt because the whole point is to make sure that you get one of your offensive weapons isolated, to making sure he doesn't get pressed, to make sure he doesn't get covered, because then it'll be easy for him to catch the ball and get the first down instead of him being incomplete or being hit and being hurt as well. So the idea of going against Jair Alexander, the Green Bay Packers' best probably defensive player, against, Drake London, who is a 2nd-year guy, I think is a little bit too crazy. And also Desmond Ridder kind of threw the ball way too quickly before Drake London even got settled, and Jair Alexander could easily got this a pick 6 and really turned the tide around for the Green Bay Packers. In the beginning of the third quarter, I understand you want to go explosive first, so you do a play action pass to Michael Pruitt. He didn't complete it, and then it was a flag. Then, of course, now you have a chance to just settle in with the run game. You know, just keep the chains moving, keep everything fluid. But unfortunately, that didn't happen because we didn't move the chain. We didn't score any points on that drive because Desmond Ridder was throwing the ball 3 times in a row, and it kind of got him rattled during the second time where everybody was being incomplete. And then, you know, that made the Packers score on the next drive. That really helped them almost win this game. And that also kind of defeat the purpose of what Arthur Smith was trying to establish is, you know, have that steady run game flow, you know, eat the clock out. And it just seemed kind of weird to me in that aspect. But I know he's going to adapt as a head coach and definitely change some of the play callings for next time when that does happen in those type of situations. So I'm not too worried about that. So now let's talk about the Packers and the Falcons. Shout out to the Green Bay Packers and their fan base because they did not make it easy for this Atlanta Falcons win. You have to give them all props because, you know, Matt LaFleur did an incredible job with all the talent that he had at his helm. Now, obviously, his 2 major powerhouse offensive players weren't available, but still, he found a way to get, you know, all the rookies get those incredible touchdowns. Now, Jordan Love could have got another touchdown, but it was kind of overthrown. Or I think he didn't see the guy, but I think Adrian Terrell could have gotten beat. I don't know. I have to double check and watch the film. But you just got to give them credit for their defensive prowess because they are a scary team and they're not to be messed with. And of course, we could say the same thing to us because we got lucky and then they got lucky with the flags and penalties. Now, Preston Smith, I thought she got flagged when he hit Matt Ryan, when he hit Desmond Ridder out of bounds, but there was no flag called. And then, of course, you know, the incredible, ridiculous, you know, callback touchdown by Mac Hollins, that incredible toe-tapping gracefulness and the catch that, you know, he had his 2 hands up. I thought it was a touchdown, me personally, but of course, you know, the NFL refs didn't think so as well. But there was a lot of back and forth going on, and so you have to give them credit as much as, you know, we got to give ourselves credit too, because at the end of the day, we found a way to score 13 points in the fourth quarter while the defense shut them down with no points in the fourth quarter. So obviously it's a hard-fought game-win battle, and it could have gone either way if you really want to play it out in that significant area. But I thought both teams did a really good job, and at the very end, I think both sides can be really happy for the future. So on that note, if you guys lasted this long to the very end of the video, thank you guys so much for taking your own personal time and day to watch these Falcon content videos. I have more Falcon videos on the screen here. So what do Falcons do? Rise up. Until the next episode, show love and peace to the world, and peace.